1,
2, 3,
4, 5, 6, 7.
Yes, son, I trust you. Go ahead. You guys got guns you got to put on? What are you showing me?
Just max.
Okay, you're good. Go ahead and holster up. Right. You also, don't muzzle yourself. That holster's a no-go.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to just try either one.
So I can't have you with that.
Okay.
Let me see this real quick. Will that stay open?
It stays open.
Yeah.
Okay, well then just don't use this.
Yeah.
For now, because that's going to end up in the trigger guard.
All right.
I would even saw that right off.
Okay.
Just tuck it away. Scared about you holstering quickly and then it being in that trigger,
Yeah.
you know?
All right.
Medical, real quick. Any of you that had any issues, you talked to the guys last night. I know one of you had a bee allergy. There's an EpiPen in my med kit, which is the big boy with O2 and shit in the back of my truck. And there's an AED in there too. The discussion we're going to have right now is probably the most important one to make sure that we leave here all happy and no extra holes. I know you guys want to chat and grab ass and shit, but when we're on the range, unless you're me or Z, no chatting or grab assing. So real quick, medical brief here, guys, from Dan. Go for it.
All right, good morning, guys. And that's all y'all got after coffee and that amazing breakfast. Good morning. Good morning.
Go for it.
All right, so here's your medical brief real quick. Who has cell phone reception right now? You do? What carrier you got, man? Because you're like the only one.
I do. My phone does.
All right, so if there's an emergency and we need somebody to call 911, let's not everybody pull out their phones and know when they don't have reception, okay? So whoever has it, you're the person. And if we need it, let me know once you call them. And then we're gonna have somebody go up by the road and meet them. Okay, there's a fire station not too terribly far from here. So hopefully they'll be home and that'll be our first responding unit should we have an emergency, okay? If we have anything major, I want you to yell for a medic. All right, if you get a slide bite, a bee sting, unless you're the allergic guy, no need to yell for a medic. Clear your weapon, step off the line, and come find us. We got Band-Aids, we got tourniquets, we got everything, okay? From an ouchie to a oh shit. If it's an emergency, yell for a medic. Myself or Alex or probably both will come over there and take care of it, okay? Also, I know he's gonna mention it, but anybody on the range can yell ceasefire. So if you see a major emergency going on, we need to stop shooting and we need to take care and mitigate that emergency, okay? So, major event, call for a medic. You get bit by a slide or anything else, step back. We'll take care of you. We've got plenty of stuff. If you got a headache, if you're dehydrated, all that stuff doesn't matter. If you guys have anything going on, please don't be afraid. You twist your ankle, anything, just come see us. We'll take a look at it. I'll give you my best advice. I don't think I'm an expert, but I've seen a couple things, so I'll help you out, all right? I got stuff for headaches. I got stuff for all that. Okay. I can't supply everybody with everything all at the same time, but I can probably take care of most of you guys having issues, okay? If not, we can probably make something happen. So please don't hesitate to come to us if you're having anything going on. And just on the range, be very safe, okay? If you see something going on, let us know, all right? See any wildlife out here? Just saw the turkeys out this morning, snakes, all that cool stuff. Just leave them alone. Every now and then inclement weather passes through here. I don't know if Mickey was going to address that, but just be aware of that. And we may have to immediately leave this area and take down tents in a hurry. We've already done it once. Mm-hmm. So, does anybody have any medical related questions of me?
Z Durham has a problem walking past snakes without touching them. Meat snakes.
All right. Then good luck. Everybody be safe. And that's all I got. Thanks.
Cool. Again, Paul, raise your hand. Z, raise your hand. Jeff, raise your hand. Chuck, raise your hand. D-Dey guys, raise your hands. Ben Simonson back there. Those are the guys that are going to be talking to you about shooting today. I don't want anybody else. Some of you guys know a ton about shooting. You're not here to be giving advice. You're here to be learning or watching. I don't care if you're the best grandmaster in the world. Mind your business unless it's a safety issue. As he just told you, anything that you see out here that's like grossly unsafe, it's okay. We can't see everything for you to take your finger off the trigger and say, hey, like something's going on over here. You dig? On this range, because this is a completely contrived scenario, this is the only safe spot that we're pointing guns. There or into the dirt or into the air. But preferably it's going to be downrange. We don't want to send rounds over that tree line. We're going to be doing drills this weekend where we might be on the ground like this. Because I'm on the ground now, I need to look and notice that my angle of my gun could easily send a round over those trees if I was shooting towards the top of those targets. Does that make sense? So we need to be completely aware of our muzzle at all times. When I had you guys, a couple of you put your guns in the holster, and this is why we're doing this, we're training. So this morning we're gonna work in and out of the holster a bunch for safe draw stroke. Some of you felt like it was necessary. I wanna put my fingers in there where the muzzle's at. Is that a good idea? In our regular course handout, we've got a whole group of photos, most of you that have trained with us have seen it, of people with their hands blown apart, feet blown apart, fingers blown off. How do you shoot yourself? But like, what has to happen? Just two simple things. Yeah, you got to have the muzzle pointed at your body and depress the trigger. And people, Kanan and I were at a class in Iowa this past year, a dude that runs the range, excellent guy, very safe, left the range, went home, had 2 beers. He's got a collection of sports cars, and older guy, got to clean the gun because I shot it, took it out, went to clear it, fumbled it, didn't want it to fall on the hood of his vintage car, and shot himself right through his hand. He got a phone call as we were going to dinner that he had shot himself. He got flown from Dubuque to Madison, Wisconsin for a hand surgeon. Now his hand's like this the rest of his life from one simple, stupid mistake. So in the concept of safety, if we want to be safe, we could take all these guns, take them to Ben's table, and we could take all of them apart and throw the parts in the woods and they're safe. Agree? That's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to become very proficient at using them to shoot holes in people trying to hurt us. All we have to do is just always mind the orientation of that muzzle. And this weekend, we're going to be doing things where we're going to be moving around each other. We're going to be moving around barricades. We're going to be on the ground like I just was. We're going to be applying self-aid, meaning fixing ourselves, tourniquets or pressure, or maybe to somebody else, and we have to draw. If Ian, come here real quick. If Ian, and I'm not getting ahead, I'm just trying to help you understand. Go ahead and lay down for a minute. If Ian's on the ground, and it's okay, you'll be okay, and I'm here putting a tourniquet on, and all of a sudden I've got to shoot a target there, would Ian really like it if I drew my gun and went like this? Now these guys that are war fighters might say, you know, in the heat of the moment, I'd take that chance, but we're not going to do that here with live guns because we're going to be doing this with each other. So I may need to come over here and do this, right? Huh? Understand? That is not negotiable, your ability to control your muzzle and your trigger finger. As long as we can do that, high-speed guys like Zee and Jeff and Paul and these other cats, they're not doing anything different with the guns other than being able to not shoot each other. And that's how we're going to do this. This morning we're going to work. Some of you guys have high levels of skill with this. Some of you have low levels of skill. The best people in the world that shoot guns just do basic shit over and over again to a really good autonomous level, subconscious level. We're going to work on drawing the gun. I'm doing basic manipulations, how we load, unload, how we find the sights on the target, how we safely recover to the holster. We'll work through that for a little bit. If you guys look good, we'll load the guns up and start shooting. Something Paul brought up a few years ago that I think is a great point to keep in mind. All of you are probably like the gun person in your group. Some of you are instructors. Who's an instructor? 1, 2, Dave Turley and his wife are. Why are you not raising your hand, Dave Turley? Because right now I'm just stupid. I'm just here with Mrs. Turley. Actually, he talks more like this. Listen, buddy, I'm here with Mrs. Turley to have a good time. Buddy. That's how he talks. Buddy. Anyway, you guys are instructors legitimately, and some of you are the guy that's going to go home and teach your wife, your girlfriend, your buddies, right? Because you're the one that invests the time in training. All your friends aren't here. Agree? So we want to make sure that, not that we're trying to make instructors out of you, but we're trying to pass on, as Zee was talking about last night, we care about you having this information. So when you're with your kid, your wife, your neighbors, or whoever saying, hey, show me how to do this, you know how. Because what usually happens when you go out with a bunch of dudes, it's like, isn't it? It's scary shit. Who's going to a public range? It's scary as shit. We want you to be able to leave here, and no matter where you go, not only will you be safe, but people will look at your gun handling skills and say, okay, that person legitimately knows what they're doing. Not because it looks a certain way, but it gets a result. You'll hear us talk about systems over and over all weekend. It's not that it's Chuck's system or Jeff's system or Paul's system. It's a system that gets a result. Everything that we're doing builds on the simple premise of as you present your gun, it's loaded. Who left their house the other day when they came here and they topped their gun off with 3 rounds? And that was it. Anybody? They saw today is Tuesday. Tuesdays I carry 4 rounds in my gun and 2 backup mags with half capacity. Did anybody do that? No? How many rounds did you put in the gun? Why? Yeah, so when we're training, the simple thought process is every rep, within reason, right? If we're training something in isolation, if I know I'm just working the draw stroke, I'm not working pressing the trigger. So we have to be able to compartmentalize that. Every time I'm putting that gun back in the holster, I'm setting it up so that that's how I'm gonna find it when I'm out needing it one day, right? If you're really studious about this shit, which of you have a habit where like the gun and flashlight or whatever your bedtime stuff is, all that shit goes in the same spot every night before you go to bed? I mean, doesn't that make sense? If you wake up in the middle of the night and you have to, because the patio doors just got blown off and there's 2 dudes in your house, you're like, shit, where'd I leave the gun? I hope I loaded it. Where's the flashlight? That's bad, right? So instead you position all that stuff so in the darkness, you know, I can lean over, that double-fisted dildo, push that out of the way, grab the light or whatever you got there. A couple of you were like, has he been in my house? No, your wife sent pics though. So you put it there so it's right where you want it. As such, a few of you had questions about the gear. Wouldn't it make sense? So I don't walk around with this on me, but I'm going to use it this morning so that we can work draw strokes and see it, and then I'll switch to my inside the waistband. And I know Z has an outside the waistband, but a couple of the dudes are running their carry guns. Point being, we want this stuff in the position that you're going to carry it in. Why get a bunch of reps otherwise? You know what I mean? Yes, no? Yes. I don't want to train with gear I don't carry, because then when you need it, like, well, if I had my comped dot 21 round single stack shoot a nat 100 yards away gun, I would have won, except instead I'm writing my wife a note saying I'm sorry, I only had my J-frame I never trained with, and it's got pubic hair and skin and no lube all over it. You've all seen these guns. You've looked at your carry gun lately? They're covered in skin and pubes. You're disgusting. Clean your shit. Kevin's like, damn it, he looked at my carry gun. The pube special. Systems. I want to know that if I pull my shirt up, it's there. I want to know that it's loaded. I want to know that the thing's ready to go. So everything we're building is just refining a very basic system. The system is whether Z knocks you to your ass in an alley, or you are at home in bed, or you are at the diner, or you are in your car, or wherever, the gear is where you have it, how you've trained with it. So we're gonna start out super basic, working draw strokes for a while. We're gonna work on the basic manipulations of how to unload a pistol and load the pistol. That might seem rudimentary, but when you start to have to do it quickly, it's the exact same motions, just done quickly. So we're gonna refine those basic movements. You heard when the guys walked out here, Ian said downrange. If you guys hear somebody say downrange, respond with downrange. It lets us know you're listening. It also lets us know, or lets other people know, because they might not be paying attention. Who does not have electronic hearing protection on, or have it with them? You got regular ears, Mike and Vince. Everybody else has electronic hearing. So you guys should be able to hear through the speakers. Range commands. As we get on the line, we're gonna say eyes and ears. Oops, I don't have them. Touch them. Because we're gonna do this, you're gonna do this so many times that somebody's gonna have theirs where JJ's are, and they're gonna do this. We're gonna start shooting and they're gonna go, look at this. I know you guys that shoot a lot have seen people do this. And they're wrestling. Who's not seen somebody do that on the line? You've not seen somebody do that? Everybody's seen somebody do that. Why are you recording me, Adam? It's okay. Are you high this morning like you were last night? What I'm talking about is that we're all on the same page and we're communicating. So we're going to tell you, look left and right. Why are we telling you that? because somebody's heads up their ass, somebody's thinking about that they got to eat more at lunch or whatever. Look left and right, and you can be like, ah, shit, Dan, put your ears on. Doc, put your ears on. Because otherwise we're going to create an unsafe situation. The other thing that we're doing is we're taking ourselves out of what I'm doing. I'm also being able to compartmentalize my tasks, but also still pay attention to what else is happening. Because you don't live alone in the world, do you? If you did, we wouldn't need to do any of this. Agree? So we're being able to be cognizant of what's happening around us. You can train that. Something else Zee talked about last night. There's only so many things that we can practice for, but we can open up our awareness by just choosing to be aware. Understand? So simple range commands, look left and right, eyes and ears. Downrange if somebody goes downrange. We don't just walk downrange either. And we'll say square the line. We've got some well-painted lines. Look down and we'll get the line straight if need be. We've got 35 of you, so we'll leave target 11 open for us to demo on, so nobody go on target 11. Right now, we've got loaded guns. Some of you have loaded guns, some of you do not. Everybody's gonna come to the line, odds first. We'll come to the 4-yard line. We're all gonna get our eyes and ears on, and we're gonna clear out our pistols. We're gonna tell you when to do it and how to do it. So we're gonna come behind you. I want you to clear your gun out. We'll get to you. Show me you're empty. All right. Reholster, show me you're empty. And when something falls to the ground, you leave it there until the line is clear. Go ahead. If you are empty and have instructors come to you, step off the line. Reholster. Again, pull that back.
Yeah, no.
You're good. You're good. If your gun is empty, go ahead and roll off the line. So while these guys are finishing up, who knows what closed loop communication is? I know my doctors do.
I do.
Alex, can you explain what closed loop communication is?
So if you say something, anytime you say something, I want you to repeat it back, and I will also repeat it back. That way I understand what you said.
So if you said to me, Mickey, administer 10 cc's of XYZ drug, and I said, Alex, administering 15 cc's of ABC drug.
No, I want you to administer 10 cc's of XYZ drug.
Got it. I need to administer 10 cc's of XYZ drug.
Correct.
Got it. We don't need you to repeat everything, but I need to make sure that you guys are paying attention because a few things are going to happen. One, we're going to, at some point, there's going to be 15 to 30 guns going off simultaneously. You're going to start to lose voices in commands in your ears. So we're going to give you commands, and when gunfire's going off, you're not going to hear somebody yelling at you. And what will happen is, if you're not paying attention, something very simple like don't bend over or don't step off the line may have been missed, and now you're bending over when there's people shooting. We need to make sure that you are understanding and responding to us. So if I say, does everybody understand? Yes. I know you're at least listening to me. If you do not understand, I bet you're not the only one and somebody else just doesn't want to say it. So just say, I'm sorry, I don't understand. And I'll say Zee probably explained that because I would have done a better job of explaining it. So basic draw stroke. A couple things now about how we manipulate the gun. Everything we do matters. Paul and I have a friend named Super Dave Harrington. He's kind of an interesting dude. I repeat this in every class. Dave says, and I have found the older I get, this is the most true statement I've ever heard. Everything's important. Everything matters. Do the right thing at the right time every time. You can apply that to anything. Writing a report for 8th grade history class, flying an airplane, doing surgery, making pancakes. Do anything out of sequence or impart the wrong knowledge into your brain and you get an improper result. So everything we're doing is trying to input the same data over and over again in a fashion so that when we go to our gun to get it out, we get the result we want, which is presenting the sight or the muzzle to whatever needs holes in it. Hatpoint Target, our preferred mobile target stand. Super lightweight polymer. The designer of this product used to work in the automotive industry, so he knows what he's doing. The polymer is not only super light, but it's super durable, and if it does happen to get shot by an errant round, it won't crack. It just punches a clean hole. We've got good shooters. I actually don't have one that's been shot. He just told me. 3 different locations for different target widths. These are friction fit. And as I said, we've been demoing these for over a year. They work fantastic. So totally sturdy. 1x2 fits in there. If it's windy, breezy, you can either put a weight here, or they supply some long railroad type spikes, landscape spikes. You can just push them right through into the ground, pound them in, whatever you got to do. Works fantastic, super lightweight, and not going to rust, rot, or anything like that. Hatpoint Targets. Damn, cool.